Ladies and gentlemen, degenerates of the financial wasteland, my name is Adam Livingston, the Bitcoin Wizard. I stand before you in the ashes of late-stage capitalism, where every poor soul is force-fed plastic cheeseburgers and debt contracts like cattle on the way to slaughter. I have returned from the Orange Pill Mountain with forbidden knowledge on how to get rich in this dystopia. And spoiler alert, it is not buying a Dodge Charger on credit while financing your DoorDash habit. Today, I'm going to torch your consumer brain rot slide by slide until the only thing left standing is Bitcoin, cold and immaculate like a diamond forged from your wasted paychecks. Number one is fast food nation, so let's talk about America's favorite wealth-destroying religion. Every paycheck, broke people march like zombies to the golden arches to sacrifice $15 for a burger that looks like it's been stepped on by a warehouse worker with scoliosis. And then they have to justify, oh, it's only $12 for Uber Eats delivery, I don't have time to cook. Buddy, you don't have time to live. You're spending $300 a month for the privilege of clogging your arteries and funding some McDonald's executive fifth yacht. And here's the real kicker, you're not even eating food anymore. That chicken nugget is 40% beak, 40% corn syrup, and 20% tears of the underpaid fry cook. You're not hungry, you're just depressed, and instead of therapy, you picked a sack of McDoubles. This is the financial dystopia, and Ronald McDonald is your landlord. Alright, let's move to the second plague of the financial dystopia, subscriptions. This is where your money goes to die. You got Netflix, you got Hulu, you got Disney Plus, you got Amazon Prime, Paramount Plus, HBO Max, OnlyFans, Spotify, Apple Music, Xbox Live, PlayStation Plus, and you still say, I'm broke. No kidding, you're broke. You signed up for more monthly bills than the Pentagon has war crimes. You're paying $150 a month so a Disney executive can CGI another soulless Marvel movie where Iron Man's ghost fights racism in space. And you justify it. But Adam, I need Netflix to relax after work. Brother, you don't need Netflix. You need a savings account. You need a father figure. You need to stop funding 87 different billionaire pedophiles because you're afraid of silence. And let's not skip the real killer, OnlyFans. Oh yes, you lonely, horny rascals. Spending $20 a month so you can see a woman from Cleveland pretend she likes you through a ring light. For that same $20, you could buy Bitcoin, but instead you bought 30 seconds of fake intimacy and a gif of someone pouring ranch dressing on their feet. You are literally direct depositing your paycheck into the machine that keeps you enslaved. The dystopia does not need gulags when you're willingly paying $14.99 a month for your own chains. Congratulations, you don't even like your own entertainment. You're renting dopamine like a timeshare in hell. Now let's talk about the official financial strategy of the broke and the hopeless. Lottery tickets and scratch-offs. Nothing screams like I've given up on life louder than standing in line at a gas station at 7 a.m. holding a Monster Energy drink, scratching cardboard like a crackhead archaeologist hoping to find buried treasure. This is what poor people call investing. $20 a week, every week, praying the universe will reward them for believing hard enough. It's religion without the church, it's hope without math. And who's the priest? The state government. The state loves you addicted to scratch-offs because it's basically a voluntary poverty tax. They don't even need IRS agents. You walk up and hand them your paycheck in exchange for a 1 in 100 million chance of not living in abject poverty. And the saddest part, the marketing works. They put a big shiny poster out front with some hillbilly from Iowa holding a giant check for $47 million, smiling like he didn't immediately get divorced, lose it all, and overdose in a strip club parking lot. They don't tell you the real math. You'd be more likely to be hit by lightning while getting mauled by a bear than you are ever to see a dime from your weekly investment. The dystopia doesn't even have to hide its scam either. It's right there in your pocket. Little paper tickets soaked in nicotine and despair. Your retirement plan is a cardboard rectangle that says, sorry, try again, and you will every single week. So now we arrive at the shrine of modern broke culture, the financed Dodge Charger. Nothing says I will escape poverty quite like signing a 72-month loan at 25% APR so you can peel out of a Taco Bell parking lot with a muffler that sounds like a dying lawnmower. $800 a month for what? Cloth seats that smell like vape juice? A Bluetooth system that hasn't worked since week 2? And rims that you had to finance separately from a guy named Daryl behind the pawn shop? You didn't even buy a car, you just bought a lifestyle subscription to poverty. You know what's really driving the car? It's not you. Debt is in the driver's seat and you're just the screaming passenger as Capital One slams the gas pedal. By the time you're done paying that thing off, the car's value will be $4 and a pack of Newports. Meanwhile, the bank collects their monthly tribute from you like a feudal lord. You wanted to impress women? Is that why you bought the thing? Congratulations, you just impressed the collections department. You wanted freedom? Nope, you voluntarily shackled yourself to a rolling prison cell with cup holders. You don't own the Charger owns you. And when the repo man finally hauls it off at 3 o'clock in the morning while you're too broke to keep up the payments, remember this, you didn't buy transportation, you bought humiliation on wheels. Alright, now let's talk about the holy grail of financial suicide, the iPhone. Nothing says I am poor and will remain poor forever like standing in line at midnight to pay $1,200 for a glowing rectangle that does the exact same thing as the one in your pocket right now. You finance this thing for 36 months at $39.99 a pop while your checking account is holding steady at a rock-solid $13. But hey, you've got the Pro Max Ultra Titanium Edition. You can't afford rent, but Siri can tell you what time Applebee's closes. Revolutionary. And let's not forget the cracked screen. Every broke person has the same iPhone. Shattered glass, greasy fingerprints, notifications from Capital One screaming minimum payment due. But you still flex it like it's a Rolex. The newest iPhone is not a status symbol, it is a leash. Tim Cook has you on autopay while you stream TikToks of people richer than you dancing in kitchens that you'll never own. You're not even buying a phone, you're buying surveillance equipment that tells advertisers exactly how broke you are. Apple knows you better than your family. They know when you're sad, they know when you're horny, they know when you're impulse buying sneakers at midnight, and you pay them for the privilege. The Dystopia doesn't need thought police when you voluntarily carry a $1,200 ankle monitor that spies on you while draining your wallet. You think you own the iPhone? Wrong, the iPhone owns you. It's your master, it's your babysitter, and it's your financial executioner all in one shiny rectangle package. Now let's take a look at the cultural cancer known as sneaker drops and vape pens. Nothing says I am financially doomed like camping outside Foot Locker at 4 o'clock in the morning with a $300 pair of Jordans while your bank account is overdrafted from buying pizza rolls. You don't own assets, you own footwear. And not even functional footwear because you own clown shoes that you're too scared to crease. You walk like a newborn giraffe because if you scuff them, your entire net worth evaporates. Congratulations, you're a trust fund for Nike executives. And then there is the vape. Oh yes, the vape. Grape ice, cotton candy blast, watermelon unicorn piss. You'll pay $20 a pop to inhale hot chemicals that make your lungs sound like a radiator in Section 8 housing, which means that you are quite literally smoking your own net worth. Every cloud of vape smoke is your retirement floating away into the fluorescent gas station ceiling. And here's the worst part. These two addictions are the perfect dystopian trap. You drop hundreds on shoes you'll never wear and vapes you'll never quit, and you think you're living the lifestyle. No. You're funding China's plastic industry and Phil Knight's 10th mansion. Your financial portfolio, a wall of shoeboxes and a drawer full of dead vapes. You don't have stocks, you don't have Bitcoin, you've got nicotine and sneakers, and both lose value the second that you touch them. That's not wealth building. You are conducting performance art for poverty. So now let's talk about the crown jewel of financial slavery, credit card interest. Nothing is more dystopian than paying $200 a month just for the privilege of owing Capital One money. You're not even paying the debt down, you're paying for the right to stay poor. This is poverty on autopilot. You swipe a piece of plastic to buy Taco Bell, Target candles, and $9 iced lattes. Then you get a letter that basically says, "Congrats, peasant, you now owe us 30% APR until the day you die." And what do? You pay the minimum. You send them $27 like a dog dropping scraps at the master's table. Think about this. You're renting groceries that you already ate. That Chipotle burrito is gone, but you'll be paying interest on it till 2029. You're not just broke, you're a reverse alchemist. You're turning money into nothing. And the banks, they love you. You're their favorite customer, not the guy who pays off his balance, not the millionaire with a black card. No, you, the paycheck to paycheck schmuck who thinks the minimum due is a suggestion from God. You're a human ATM that dispenses interest payments. The dystopia does not need whips or chains when you gladly enslave yourself for airline miles that you'll never use. You're not stacking wealth, you're stacking fees. You're not building equity, you're building your bank CEO's summer home. They don't even call you a customer because you're a host organism for debt parasites. And now we reach the only real exit from this dystopian carnival of poverty: Bitcoin. So look around you. Every single scam I've shown you is designed to bleed you dry. Fast food turned you into a lab rat. Subscriptions rented your boredom. Scratch-offs taxed your desperation. Chargers enslaved you to debt. iPhones spied on you. Sneakers and vapes hollowed you out. And credit cards harvested your soul. The whole system is a meat grinder and you are the meat. But there is one way out, one way to opt out of this entire carnival of humiliation. Bitcoin, the incorruptible, the untouchable, the digital ark in a flood of fiat sewage. While everyone else out here is trading hours of their life for Happy Meals, Marvel movies, and nicotine clouds, you can stack sats, scarce, absolute, sovereign money that cannot be debased, inflated, or repossessed. Bitcoin is the emergency exit in a burning theater. It is the rope ladder out of the sinking ship. It is the one thing that this dystopia cannot counterfeit, cannot censor, and cannot devalue. While the masses are too busy financing their clown cars and paying interest on tacos, the few who understood are quietly walking toward freedom. The choice is simple. You can either rot in fiat slavery or stack Bitcoin and escape the cage. Because in the financial dystopia, the only real flex isn't Jordans or Chargers or iPhones, it's sovereignty. It's Bitcoin, and if you don't see that yet, don't worry, your credit card bill will explain it to you next month. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Adam Livingston. I am the Bitcoin Wizard. Don't be an idiot. Go buy Bitcoin. Have a terrific day. Class dismissed.